What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another Clash Royale video. Today we're going to be starting, I think what I'm gonna make a series here about 2.6 Hog, kind of like a very beginner's guide, because there's a lot of, pro gameplay things about 2.6. If you want to look on those on YouTube, you definitely can. But there's nothing really like kind of starting out and like the whole idea of a cyclo deck, and so that's kind of what the idea for this series is here. So I picked this replay to show first because it is probably the most straightforward, because this guy decided to not play as P.E.K.K.A. at all, and I don't really understand why. Usually this matchup is a little bit harder than it'll show here, because if they play their P.E.K.K.A., then it's kind of a pain to stop that. But that's not really the point of this whole first one. It's just more so I can get the basics out of the way. Speaking of basics, some, I'd say, very general tips for Hog decks, specifically 2.6, as you see in the video, and cyclo decks as a whole, is defense. And, you think cyclo deck, and you kind of just think, spamming Hog whenever you have it, which is occasionally the right decision. But I would say Hog 2.6 and other control decks and cyclo decks similar to it are more based around the defense. The whole reason Hog 2.6 is good is because of how cheaply you defend, and then that allows you to use the Hog when they're low on Elixir. That's kind of the super dry bones idea of Hog 2.6. And you'll notice a couple times in the video, I believe I pause it a couple times to show you Elixir, right there. That guy, he's up almost 3, I think. Right? Yeah, up 2, a little bit more than 2. He should have P.E.K.Ka'd him in the back, but he didn't. And so that allowed me to gain my Elixir lead back, and eventually I'll whittle him down. Another thing for Hog 2.6 is your spells. They're extremely important, and they're sometimes how you end up winning the game. If you can't break through, say they have NATO and say a Goblin Cage or some other defense, and you just can't get through, right? What you're going to pretty much have to do, and the cycling, instead of your Hog Rider, what you're going to be cycling, is you're going to be cycling your logs, specifically your logs, and then your fireballs if they give you value. So, if they put a Musketeer in the back, or an E-Wiz, or preferably a Magic Archer, since it dies to it. Another extremely important thing is the 1 Elixir cards, your Skeletons and your Ice Spirit. They are super versatile, and right there you can see, I was trying to do the play where you can get the Magic Archer to deny all damage to the Magic Archer with only the 1 Elixir Ice Spirit, but I mistimed it just by a fraction of a second there. But that's a perfect example of, of how your 1 Elixir cards can be so incredibly valuable, and that's another reason of how you get that Elixir lead, and then what allows you to play the Hog. Your 1 Elixir cards can, defend a mini P.E.K.K.A. You can do a Skeletons and then an Ice Spirit, defend a 4 Elixir mini P.E.K.K.A. for 2 Elixir. You can defend a Miner or a Giant, or with a Cannon and a Skeletons, or just all sorts of different things like that. And that's kind of how you build up that Elixir lead, and eventually you'll take it with the Hog. For your Musketeer then, that's probably the most important card you need to level up, because otherwise it will die to Fireball that are over-leveled. And I know one of the big reasons that 2.6 is such an attraction to a lot of players is because it's relatively easy to level up, since there's no epics or legendaries besides the log. But the log, you only have to get to a maximum of level 12, and it'll pretty much do everything you need to do. It'll kill the Dark Goblins, it'll kill the, Spear Goblins or the Princesses or whatever. Level 12 is kind of, all you need to get to, and so that's why mine's on level 12, and because I don't have 20 logs laying around. I, in fact, just recently got my Ice Golem max and my Fireball, so I didn't have the max cards until just a couple weeks ago. It does make a difference, though, it really does. Especially the Ice Golem, not killing bats or skeletons was a huge pain, especially for matchups like this, where Night Witch is part of Golem. I paused it here because at this point, he golems in the back, and I'm thinking I'm very much screwed. He has NATO, Golem's already a difficult matchup for Hog 2.6, just because, especially if they have Lightning, it's very hard to defend the giant push they can build up. So a tip for against Golem matchups is you have to apply pressure to the opposite lane. And, as you see right now, that Ice Golem placement right there, one tile to the left in the middle, is how you drag. That'll be used for all sorts of different things, whether it's against the P.E.K.K.A. or the supporting troops like against Golem, or supporting troops with the Giant. You pull them to the other lane, and that gives your tower long enough time to chip away at them, and then you can play Musketeer, or maybe your Ice Golem, or maybe Musketeer again, or like you can cycle 2 of them. As you'll see in the next replay, which is against Lava Hound, which is a huge part of it, cycling 2 Musketeers. Another important thing is knowing your own cycle and knowing the other person's cycle. I would focus on your own first though, since knowing the opponent's cycle takes a lot of practice. But what you can start out with is just memorizing maybe 1 or 2 cards. So say I want to know when this guy had Golem in cycle. He's going to about to play it. I don't know why he didn't pump up, but he's going to play his Golem in the back. A couple seconds here when he gets to full. And that means as soon as he plays it, he needs to cycle 4 cards to get back to it. And you can kind of mentally, keep track of that. Maybe then he plays a Lumberjack to run the Hog, just like that. So now he still needs 3 more cards to get back to his Golem, which isn't going to happen anytime soon. So it's a pretty expensive deck for getting that Golem to get Elixir. But another, as I said before, knowing your own cycle is also very important. How many cards right there, right before I paused, I cycled an Ice Spirit, a Musketeer in the back, then an Ice Spirit, and then an Ice Golem. And I knew that after that Ice Golem, I would have my Hog back in cycle. I knew that. And that's important to know. If you didn't know that and you were guessing, you're like, oh, I think it's this card, but then you all of a sudden have an extra Ice Golem, and you're like, oh, crap. And then you waste that 2 Elixir, and that can be obviously not ideal. That nade on his part, too, was very, very poor. He would have been getting the splash damage on the tower for the Musketeer, but he pulled it away, so that's kind of a thank you. And there is also a mistake I made right here that I want to point out, and why replays are actually valuable. That Hog right there took a hit from the Baby Dragon, and then went on to get to the tower, and that was a good idea. However, there's a similar time, Baby Dragon, toward the end, where I don't play the Hog, and I end up winning again, but I would have taken a lot less damage, which is right here. Right when this Baby Dragon gets close, I should have hogged right there, tanked the Baby Dragon, but instead I Fireball, and that allows me to take my tower. This is why replays are also super important. You can go back. I didn't notice it the first time as I was playing it. Of course, I didn't notice that. I noticed it, but I was busy focusing on getting that other tower down, so I wasn't really thinking about it. Replays are a good way to see where you make a mistake. Maybe you didn't know that he only had 1 Elixir and you had like 5. Maybe you didn't know that, and then you could have hogged, and it could have been good defended. So Elixir counting is a whole other thing, but that also takes a lot of practice. You can kind of just use the times in the matches where you have that awkward moment where you both do a push and you counter push, and then you're kind of sitting there for 10 seconds just kind of waiting. You kind of use those as a gauge. Most likely people are going to wait until they're at 10 to play so you can kind of use that to judge, if he plays something in the back after one of those awkward moments where you're kind of not playing anything for a while. If he plays something in the back and you're at 8, you can say, okay, so I'm probably around 2 Elixir down. And that can be helpful as a guide. You can do that with the match as well. Anyway, so as you can see here, I'm cycling Musketeers. I put the cannon in the left this time. Musketeers in the right side, which is unfortunate. But that cannon placed it right there when they go in the pocket like that. You can drive to your King Tower, which is obviously ideal if you don't want your right tower to be taken. And then that Hog hit right there, perfect Fireball out for the win. And there is a Golem matchup. I don't know why he didn't pump up much. Both the first 2 replays I've shown here, the opponent hasn't really played it very well, but it still gives you an idea of, especially this match, of how to use your cycle cards, because that's a very important part of the cycle deck aspect of it. And this one, I decided to show a Lava Hound, because Lava Hound is actually one of the hardest matchups for 2.6, just because you only have that really one actual troop. You get the Ice Spirit too, I guess, but doesn't really do much, does it? So the only thing you have is a Musketeer. So what you're going to have to do is, as soon as they play a Lava Hound, hopefully you have it in cycle, and then you can play, not Elixir Golem, Ice Golem in the back, right when he puts the Lava Hound down, and then later you can cycle Musketeer. That way, you can cycle Musketeer back by the time that Lava Hound's on your tower and he has support troops down. You'll see I do a decent example. I believe I make one mistake and I don't do it right away. As soon as the Lava Hound's here, I'm going to go Hog opposite lane. That's what you're going to do. If they play a heavy troop in the back, opposite lane. Don't be afraid to switch lanes with this deck. I see a lot of people, Eric, you get focused in one lane and you don't ever switch. Switching is a huge part of this deck and any other cheap cycle deck, and even other decks other than cycle decks as well. But it's a very big part of it. You can distract them. So if they can't build up a push with a golem, for example. That's a huge example of where you have to go other lane. They put a golem in the back. You go, not Elixir golem. I did it again. Ice golem and a hog in the other lane. Then they have to spend something else, and they can't put that behind their golem. That's how you make the push not as difficult to defend. If they only have a golem, you can just do a cannon and a musketeer, and that's 7 for an 8, and that's a +1. That's how another reason, opposite lane, opposite lane, opposite lane. Very important, and you'll kind of get used to seeing when you need to do it. Right here, I know I'm up Elixir, so that's why I pushed so hard, and then he hounded as well, so that helped as well, and that hog hit was very big. I have a pretty big lead here, but I know that, especially in double Elixir, Lava Hound's gonna take a toll on me eventually, since they only have that one air targeting troop. These decks are a little weird though, with the Fire Spirits and the Archers and the Valkyrie. They're very uncommon for a Lava Hound. He's gonna Miner, I believe, on my Musketeer, and I miss it with the Ice Golem. I thought I was gonna play it in front. They usually put him in front. This little mini tip too. Put it in back though. But I had the Fireball in hand for the Lava Pups, and I clean up that Valkyrie as well with it. And then a simple Ice Spirit will take care of the Miner, and then Ice Golem again to block those little pups. At this point, I know there's 30 seconds left. He's gonna have a pretty hard time taking my tower. So that time I get the block on the Musketeer. Musketeer's the most important card against Lava Hound, so gotta keep it alive. He arrows though, and at that point I know I'm way ahead in Elixir. Take the tower, and he's not gonna have enough time, and I can start going for their tower now. I already have a pretty good advantage, like 1,000 health it looks like. And so at this point, he starts spamming in the middle. I cannon. I should have done it a little bit farther though, as now the Hound will still go to the right side. So that's a mistake that I was talking about earlier that almost cost me. But see that Musketeer placement? Right there on the left side, so it's not on the tower that he's going for. That means if he had a spell, which he doesn't, A, he can't use a spell on it, B, he can't miner it, and C, his troops won't clean it up. And he was so busy focusing on that right side when he thought he had me with the Musketeer that he completely forgot about the left side. I'm able to hog, get a fireball off right there, and then almost get into spell range. And there's that Musketeer right there, right in the pocket. Don't expect it. Hard to defend. And now I'm in fireball range. Take the Victory Royale to finish off this intro to Hog 2.6. However, that is not the end of the video quite yet. I remember seeing in a Clash with Ash video, CWA Mobile Gaming. If you want to go check him out, he has like 700k subs, so not like he needs my help. But he did this thing during one of his 2.6 videos, and it was a way to help get your cycling down. And I really liked it, and so I went ahead and tried it. And so essentially what you do is you simply hop into a 2v2 match. I did it with Eric here. Hop into a 2v2 game. It works with a friend or just with any random old teammate. And essentially, all you're trying to do is focus on defending with your 2.6. So you're using your 2.6 hog, you're focusing on using your cycle cards and your musketeer and your cannon to defend. And how it will help is, since it's 2v2, you have more troops in the field, which makes your defending that much more difficult. And if you can defend, the two people pushing, think how easy defending one person will be. I told Eric that he should focus on playing offense and just let me defend. He didn't do an absolutely amazing job at it, but the point gets across, and that's all that counts. All you have to do is watch throughout the gameplay here as I try to focus on defense. I send in a Hog Rider because sometimes, the best defense to get offense. Sometimes, we'll say a Valkyrie, for example. Say it has like half health or so, a little bit less, come to your tower. You put a hog down, so it will draw the Valkyrie up top. The Valkyrie will walk toward the Hog Rider toward the bridge, and that allows your tower to finish off by the time the hog is gone, and the Valkyrie will be dead, and then you'll finish using the hog. Something like that. You can use the hog to just get that last, instead of having to use your skeletons, for example, to distract the Valkyrie. Just things like that, those little itty bitty things that you can learn, and it will also help you learn your card cycle as well, because you have the 2v2 and it gets kind of crazy once you get double Elixir. You have to start clicking through your cards fast to keep up with all the spam coming in, like in this case the minion hordes and the mirrors and lumberjacks and all that stuff. You get pretty good at it, and it does help. I would highly recommend, whether you play 2.9 Expo or 2.6 Hog, either one. The whole idea is to get your cycling down and, you know, start working on your different accounts, which also helps for, you know, 1v1s on ladder or rounders or whatever. So yeah, it's kind of a fun little mini game. You don't have to try super hard. It's not like, you know, you gotta keep a score sheet or something like that. The wins or losses could not matter less. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. The important thing is that you're focusing on your defense, not really worrying about offense too much. You're playing, let your teammate do that, you know, whether it's a random teammate and they just start putting bombs in the back like right off the bat, or whatever they decide to do, because you know how amazing random 2v2 teammates are, right? They're just fantastic, and they win all the time. And that's another reason why it will work, maybe even better with random teammates. You don't have them to rely on, and so you have to rely on just yourself to defend the pushes from everyone. So I believe we win this game, and then we go on to play one more as one more example. So after you watch that, I don't need to commentate the whole thing. I'm already explaining to you the whole idea. You can watch for yourself, and my voice is getting tired. Almost 17 minutes here of talking straight does get tiring, and you would not believe how much it actually hurts my throat. Anyway, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more Hog 2.6 and Clash Royale content in general. Looking at getting maybe some Apex gameplay as well from PS4 onto here. Gotta figure out how to edit that though, so you can look forward to that coming shortly. But for now, we're gonna stick to Clash Royale because it's fun and I'm enjoying it right now. Maybe do anything with the global tournament that's out right now. Maybe like, you know, at 15 wins or whatever. Something like that. So let me know what you want to see, and make sure to go check out my subscriber challenge video, so that way I have a deck I can make and a video I can make from whatever you suggest, whatever crazy suggestions that you give me for card combinations. So make sure to go check out that one and other videos as well. And again, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll let this game fade away to the outro. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, and thank you for watching.